The other instructions I've been telling you guys, the main focus of this Fireground Survival program, other than survival, that's in the word itself, but making ourselves Mayday ready, okay? These are individual skills that we are learning, even though we're down here as a crew. Each individual firefighter is learning what they need to do in the event they have to call a Mayday. So we're going to show you once again in this location, when you recognize you're in trouble, you're going to call a Mayday, okay? Bottom line. What do you say? It's who, what, and where, okay? Who are you? Firefighter Smith on engine 3. What happened? I'm separated from my crew, okay? I'm in the southwest corner of the building. I'm looking for an exit, okay? Keep it simple. They're going to repeat that, and then you're going to be starting to figure out what it is you got to do to survive. They're going to talk about grab lives. We've already had the classroom portion of this now, 2 sessions. You guys have gone online. You've seen the program online, and grab lives. Right off the bat, you made a radio report. That's part of grab lives, okay? But you know, you got your gauge, radio, your pass alarm. You can activate. Breathing is the B. Every single one of these scenarios today we presented, guys, it's all about breathing. The ability to calm our slow our breathing down, calm ourselves down, is going to make a big difference as whether or not we're going to survive the incident. And then we're also going to organize. We're going to think about what it is we got to do. We're going to basically do what? We're going to come up with a plan. Once we have a plan, it doesn't have to be complicated, but if we have a plan, now we can do what? We can act upon it. Okay, all of our research into this program has shown that when people have a plan, they got a much better chance of surviving, okay? So, breathe, organize, and act. BOA. Keep that in mind. That's part of the grab lives, okay? Staying low, using your flashlight, making noise, finding an exit, shielding your airway. It's all stuff we're going to have to become absolutely familiar with from here on out on the Phoenix Fire Department. We've made the commitment wholesale. That's what we're doing from here on out. So from now on, make sure you guys are prepared for it. The Fireground Survival program heavily relies on us being able to realize that we've had incidences around the country where people have lost their lives. This is the buy-in, okay? We've had members who have gotten killed because either they weren't able to effectively call for help or didn't call for help or weren't able to find a way to get themselves out of something. In this scenario where we're talking about maybe finding another way to get out from a room-to-room situation, we had a crew. They were in a vacant one-story wood frame dwelling, which for us guys, that's a house. And they were taking the hose line down the hallway. They were looking for the seat of the fire. They found it in the back of the house near the kitchen area, and they had a roof collapse. And when the roof collapsed, the captain ended up on, if you will, the wrong side of the collapse. He was trapped. The firefighters were on the other side where the hose line was. They were able to go ahead and follow the hose line out. There were other crews inside the building. They all kind of ended up coming together and getting themselves out, but nobody called for help, okay? They didn't know who was missing, who wasn't missing. When you make a Mayday call, you got to remember one of the things that's happening on the outside of the building, command, what are they going to start doing right away? They're going to start doing accountability reports. And when you hear somebody call a Mayday, and if that's your crew and you're the one that's okay, you're going to start perking up and going, hey, I'm okay. Engine 3 just made a Mayday. Who are we missing? It's going to make the system a lot better if we're all aware and listening to what's happening. This particular captain, he ended up getting caught by some of the debris. You guys just came out of the entanglement prop, right? Okay, well, he was actually, the roof had collapsed on him, so he, in this situation, wasn't really able to effectively get himself out of it. If he had been able to do that and he had no other choice in that room, there was no other exit, there was no other door or window that he could have gotten through, basically a last option might have been to go from an untenable space he was in by breaching a wall to get to another wall, okay, or another room, I'm sorry. What we're trying to tell you guys is we don't want you guys to start thinking about busting holes in walls right from the get-go. That's the last thing you want to be thinking about. It takes up a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and what else does it take up? It takes up air. You only got so much of that, okay? You've already been in a firefight, you've already sucked down some air, and now you got even less. That's why this part here is so critical. All right, controlling your breathing is going to control your air supply. But if it turns out this is the best scenario for you guys to go ahead and open up a wall, that's what we want you guys to be able to do. You got to understand what kind of a wall you're dealing with. When you got a wall like this, a block wall, you're probably not going to be doing a lot of breaching on a block wall. You might have a situation where you got some openings that are already made. Maybe there's a louver or something that you can open up and get through. That'd be great, but that's still going to take time. In this scenario here where you had the house, okay, we know that going from room to room, typically we can go between the drywall, between the studs. That's what these props are set up to be. We're not going to teach you guys how to breach walls today. Quite frankly, if you guys need to learn how to break stuff, you're probably in the wrong profession. We're really good at that. Matter of fact, we're experts at breaking stuff. Today's B shift, so I know you guys are 100% in line with that. If you have a tool, you want to go ahead and make the initial hole into the breach into the wall. Try to go ahead and find out, if you can sound it, see if you can find out where a stud is. Because if you go to hit a stud in it, you're going to know right away you've hit it. Also, try not to go ahead and breach where there's an outlet, because you're going to have all kinds of boxes there and electrical wires and everything else. You're going to have to get out of the way. So try to find that open space, make the breach. On the typical common 16-inch on center studs, this is all the space we're going to be able to use. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate the best way to get through that space, wearing your SCBA, and also if you have to go ahead and take it off to get through. Making the hole, once you've done that, you got to open it up, okay? If you have time to do this. If you don't have a tool, guys, we want you to go ahead and get down on your butt and kick forward. Start an inspection hole. I like to use the analogy, if you're a ladder company and you're on the roof, what do? You cut an inspection hole to see if you're cutting in the right spot. If you make a little tiny hole first and you can look inside and see, if it looks bad on the other side, guess what? You're not going to go in that room. Go to the other side and check that wall on the opposite side. That might be a better place for you to go, okay? There's no reason I'm cleaning everything up if it's going to be worse than where you're at already. If you have to go ahead and do the donkey kick, go ahead and use that. Once you get a hole started, you can pull from this side towards you and push from the other side, okay? You got the two sides of the sheetrock you got to deal with. Once you get that in place, what do we got to do? We got to go ahead and make sure we can go to the other side. We got to check our tenability. We got to sound the floor. If you got a tool, you use that. If you don't have a tool, you're going to use your hands, okay? Keeping in mind that, like I said at the very beginning, if you're trapped, you're by yourself, you're lost, you're separated, before you even start doing any of this stuff, if you have time to do it, to do all that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to make a Mayday call. We're going to have you guys demonstrate that today. We're going to go through the exact way to do a Mayday call, talk you through it. When we get to the last portion of this training, where we do the confidence course, each one of us individually has to go from point A to the end of it, starting off following a hose line, doing our grab lives, making Mayday calls on the radio we're going to have somebody from the alarm room here and somebody from the command staff is going to be on the other end of the radio traffic. We're going to do it just like real life scenario, okay? So don't forget about calling Mayday. So you made the opening, now you got to get through it. Well, if you have a scenario where you got to get through quickly and all you got time to do is make a small hole, or there already is one, then you got to go for that. You might have to call the Mayday on the other side, okay? This is all dependent on how much time you got. Getting through something like this, the space here is the same going across as it is here. But as you can see now, to get through there, we got to take the bottle off. So we're going to talk to you guys about doffing your SCBA and the method we want you to use to get it through here. When we come over to this side now, and we got more space, it's something you guys have opened up. Now you can leave the bottle on. You can go forward with a forward swim technique we're going to teach you, or turn around, bottle in the hole already, and then we're going to do what's called a backstroke, okay? They both have their pluses and minuses, but we're going to get you through them both, okay? So what we'll have Timmy do is Timmy's going to go ahead and he's going to demonstrate to you guys the way that we want you guys to go ahead and doff the SCBA, because it's going to be real critical. If you follow the same procedures we show you, it's going to be the most efficient and most effective. It'll take out any extra steps that you don't need to get you to get through here, okay? All right, Tim.
All right. Stand We've already been through most of this stuff, so you always know that the regulator is supposed to go on the left-hand side. So as we go through this stuff, make sure your buckles are nice and snug. Okay, so if your mask was in place, you're down in position getting ready to go. First thing you do with a gloved hand, put your fingers or thumb inside the belt. You can loosen it from either side and then undo your belt. And from that position, you're going to go on your right hand side first. Okay, loosen that. If you have any of the D-rings that are up underneath here, see if they're up. Get them out of the way so they're not in front of the alligator clips. So you can loosen that. Loosen your other side. If you need to use both hands, that's fine. Take your right side out and then bring it off like that.
So keeping in mind you guys are going to be doing this, you're going to be down on your knees because you're going to stay low, just like in Grab Lives. You're also going to be breathing air when we do it here in a moment. But that's the basic scenario. Now you guys have already been through the first two locations, so you've gotten some SCBA familiarity, but what did you do in both those other props? You had your gloves on. We do everything with gloves on from here on out. In the morning when you check your bottle, don't pull it off the truck and throw it over your head anymore. Get it down and do the swing method, okay? Put your gloves on. That's what I do. I put my gloves on. I keep my eyes closed, just so I can know where all my straps are. These alligator clips are not easy to find. Sometimes you get the pigtail here that gets in the way. If that happens, go ahead and move it over and hold it with the other hand while you find the clip, okay? Why don't you come on this side, Tim? This is what we're going to have you guys do. We're going to have you guys actually get through the prop, and the scenario is going to be that you're by yourself, you're separated from your crew, okay? You realize you have no other exits in this room, so what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to go from one room to the next. Right off the bat, if you're separated from your crew, what does that mean? That means Mayday. So, how do you do the Mayday? Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Command all units on the fireground, hold your traffic. Mayday firefighter, go. You're going to say firefighter Eastwood on engine 3. I'm in the southwest corner of the building. I'm separated from my crew. I'm looking to go between the walls right now to get to a tenable spot. Something like that. Make it simple. And then we're going to have you go through it. Now, when you're by yourself, okay, we don't want you ever taking your SCBA, taking your air supply, and pushing it through somewhere that you don't know what's on the other side, because you might lose it. There might be a drop-off. Who knows? You're always going to keep the bottle with you on the side where you know it's safe, so to speak. When you get halfway through and you get up to your waist and you know that's a good place to be, continue going on through, okay? Does that make sense? And you're always going to hang on to your left shoulder strap on your bottle, because that's the one that's connected to your regulator. I know you guys have got the training in the other props. That's where it is. We've got to always remember that's where the left side is where our breathing hose is. If you're in a scenario where you have more than one crew member together, okay, the guy over here trying to get through this hole, he doesn't need to be worrying about making mayday calls. That's somebody behind him can make a mayday call while he's going ahead and doffing his SCBA to get through. Once he's through on the other side, the mayday call's finished, that person can go ahead and they can start doffing their SCBA. Now, once somebody's over here in a tenable position, you don't have to necessarily drag it between your legs now. Now, you have the option of taking the SCBA, turning its cylinder valve forward or the waist harness forward, pushing it through. You're on the other side, you don't want to be grabbing it because it's connected to the guy's face. So all you want to do is make sure you kind of get it off to the side and guide it. The person going through now, that's pushed the bottle forward, you do the same way that you got through if you had to drag it with you. Remember, the widest point here is from corner to corner, okay? So we want you guys to get as low as you can. Lead arm through first. Make sure that you've got a sound floor. Get your head, your helmet through. Get your face piece and regulator through, all right? And then you want to make sure your shoulders are at a 45-degree angle. That's the biggest space you're going to get. When you get big boys like me, guess what? It's tough for me to get through that. When my shoulders are going forward, I got to cock my shoulders, okay? And that's how it's going to be. And then once you get that through, the next thing you got to get through is your hips and then your bottle. Once you get on the other side, and Tim is going to demonstrate this, and you know it's okay to pull your bottle through all the way, you can sit up. And once you sit up, you got the ability now to use both hands to yank it through. Also on the other side of the wall, you can push off this other side. All right? You're not going to have a hole over here to stick your hand through. So if I catch you coming through here like this, I'm going to smack you, okay? All right, Timmy, you want to come on and do it? So he's by himself. He's seen a space he wants to try to get through. He doesn't have a lot of time to make a breach. Situation would be Timmy's going to make a mayday call.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Command to all units on the fire ground. Hold your traffic. We have a mayday. Mayday firefighter, go.
This is engineer court off of engine 48. I'm on the first floor. I'm separated from my crew. I'm going to make a attempt into another room because the room's not tenable anymore.
Okay, command copy. Engineer Corden, engine 48. You're separated from your crew. You're on the first floor, south side. You're going to go ahead and attempt to do a wall breach to get a tenable position. Now, do you guys notice when he started making that call, when I cleared him back and said, go ahead and go, he didn't keep messing with his straps. You can't take all your straps off and talk on the radio at the same time. So keep that in mind. I know everybody wants to go through this really fast, but you got to do it like it is for real, okay? Timmy went ahead and he stopped what he was doing and he talked. If you guys don't have time, get through the hole, talk on the other side. The bottom line is you're still separate from your crew, okay? All right, Timmy. So he's already checked, he's sound on the other side. He's getting his lead arm through. Now what he wants to do here, he wants to get his bottle over here up and right in between his legs. He wants to get his leg. If you get your body streamlined as you can, all lined up with the hole to go through, instead of having it cocked, it's going to make it a lot simpler. You see how he's holding on real tight here to the left shoulder strap? That's where his regulator hose is, okay? So he's going to go ahead, he's going to clear his helmet, his mask and regulator, get his shoulders through. He can push from this side. Once he gets up to where his hips are, you want to make sure you maintain a grip on that. You want to make sure you maintain a grip on that, guys, okay? Don't forget to maintain a grip on that, okay? Now, once he gets here and he decides he wants to continue, now he can go ahead and do that, okay? If he sits on up a little bit, now he can go ahead and he can reach in with his other hand and he can pull it forward. You can also keep this bottle cocked at a 45-degree angle like this, because that's going to also be able to get through a little bit easier, okay? You guys get what I'm talking about? Okay. He's made it through to the other side. He's still breathing air. He's going to don his bottle. And then what does he want to do when he's on the other side now? He wants to advise command. He wants to give a can report. Engineer Corden, I'm on the other side of the wall. I'm in a tenable space. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look for an exit. Remember, when you guys make a mayday call, what is command doing to the system? He's starting to open up the building, right? What are they doing to the windows? They're starting to ladder the window, put ladders in the windows. So when you get to a window, if you have to do a ladder escape, like we're going to show you in the next phase, there'll be a ladder there. Everybody on the outside of the fire ground that's looking to help you is figuring out a way to go to a space where you should be, okay? That's the whole concept of what we're trying to do here. So he's on the other side, he's made that report. Now command knows he's on the move and he's made it through. They can start figuring out where that lost firefighter is going to be. If you have more than one of you guys as a crew, the good news is you're not by yourself, because that's scary enough. The other good news is if you have to make a hole, you got more bodies to start making the hole bigger. So you won't have to do what we just did. But say, for instance, you can't breach a wall because it's block wall or whatever it is. You know, this is the only opening you've got. Maybe it's made out of this stuff, and guess what? If you don't have a saw, you're not going to get through this. If you got more than one guy, the first guy is checking everything. The guy behind him is making a mayday call. All right? First guy gets through with the bottle, make sure it's tenable, that you can stay on that side as he drags his bottle through. The next guy over, he'd have the bottle off, like I said, and he would push it through. We're going to have you guys do both of those sides of the operation, okay? When we split you up 3 and 3, you'll do both. Now, that's how to get through this the small space. Did I miss anything? Okay. Now, if you guys get, it's kind of a same scenario where you're by yourself and you need to go from one room to the next, and say you were able to make a bigger space, or even if there's more than one of you, I'm going to have Timmy come on this side. We're going to have him demonstrate what's called the forward swim technique. Now, one of the things that's going to be real critical, guys, is when we get you guys to go through this, we're going to give you a little bit of assistance on the get-go if you need it, because there's a lot of technique involved with this. For guys Timmy and my size, if you don't do the right technique, you're not going to get through going forward. But you also got to have something else besides just technique. You got to have momentum. You got to do them both in the proper amounts. Technique without momentum, you're stuck. Momentum with no technique, you're stuck, okay? Does that make sense? You better pay attention, Brett, because you're a big fellow yourself, okay? Of course, you know, you're in shape, and I may not be. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to check the other side, make sure it's safe, right? Same scenario, you know, you've made a call because you're already separated from your crew. That's a given, mayday. What we're going to have to do is, because we can't get Timmy's shoulders and bottle all through at once, it's just not going to work. Remember how we ended up turning our bodies over here at a 45-degree angle to get through the diagonal? Same principle here. It's just now we just got a taller space. We still need to make sure we go ahead and cock our body at that angle. And the way we're going to do it is, we're going to take our right hand and put it just on the other side, okay? We don't want to put the shoulder through all the way. We want to back it up just a little bit, Timmy. And then we want to go ahead, we want to stay as far over here to the right as we can, but drop our right shoulder a little bit so we can get the bottle up here, up against the wall. You don't want to go down to your belly. You want to keep yourself in a, in all fours position, okay? The principle is, you're going to, and don't do it just yet, but you're going to lift up your left arm, you're going to put it up in the corner here, and as you do that, you drop your right down, you push it through, and then as you get it through, you're going to turn your body now, okay? When you turn your body at that 45, now the bottle is going to fall into the hole. As you do that, and it falls into the hole, you keep pushing forward, and now you can continue with the right, okay? You got the left shoulder through, now you can get the right shoulder through, okay? This is not pretty. This is kind of like childbirth, okay? You have to get through. It's going to be messy. You're going head first, no breech births. You're going to get through the other side, and you're going to make it. You got to, no matter what, if you get stuck, you got to wiggle your way through this. Once you get through the other side, you keep corkscrewing, okay? So I might have to give Timmy a hand here because I'm trying to have him go slow to show you, but you got to use that momentum. So go ahead, Timmy. Back it up a bit. There you go. Okay, go ahead. See how that turned the bottle over? And what we're having trouble with is guys getting that little fill valve stuck on there, okay? That's real life. That could happen. Going through the wood stud is a little bit, it gives a little bit more than the metal does, but that's the basic concept, okay? Did you guys see what he did? So it's up, turn, and then keep going, all right? If you have to take your right arm, and I have to do this sometimes, if you have to drop that a little bit and leave it back behind you, that's fine, but you got to get through. The next method we're going to show you before we break you guys up into a group is, this is called the backstroke. And I got to tell you what, guys, this is a whole lot simpler. I personally would always opt to do this one if possible. The only thing that could end up being a problem is you're going blind, you're going backwards, okay? So you got to make darn sure that you've checked that other side to make sure that that space is going to be sound, okay? Come on over here, Timmy. In this scenario now, you're going to get your butt all the way up against, just like I just got done saying, he's checking for tenability or for soundness. You're going to back your butt up all the way to the studs. You're going to get your shoulders on either side. Your bottle's all the way through the hole already. And then, because we want to go ahead and we want to protect that first stage regulator here on the left side, we want to take our legs, we want to put them at a 45-degree angle. We want to cock them this way, and that pushes that bottle over that way. You see that? Now what we do is we want to take our left arm, don't do it just yet, but we want to take our left arm up above our head, put it back here in this corner. What that's going to do is now, as we do that, it's going to turn our body, our bottle's already through the hole, and then we're going to take our right arm and we're going to swim it through, follow it through. And as you get on the other side, you just start corkscrewing, okay? Go ahead, Timmy. What do you think? It is easier. It is. The thing about it is you got to make sure that, because you're kind of going blind that way. When you're going forward, it's kind of the same thing a little bit, but you can back up a little bit quicker. When you're laying yourself down like that, you've already made a big commitment to be on that other side that way. I just want you guys to understand something. When you're doing this today, go ahead and get through it one time. The next time you got an option. You can either put your hood on backwards to obscure your vision. If you guys want to keep your eyes closed, that's fine too. Either way you want to do it, but I want you guys to keep in mind that when you do this thing, when we go through the confidence course, you guys will not be able to see. we're going to have window tint in your mask. You will be blind, I guarantee you. So you're going to have to go ahead and start getting used to that, and also being able to use all of your manipulations on your SCBA without any kind of vision, okay? You've found a space in the wall. You got to get out of here quick. You've checked the other side, and then what are you going to do next? Go ahead and give me a mayday call.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Okay, command all units on the Fireground. Holding traffic. Mayday firefighter, go.
Firefighter Redfield from engine 3. I'm lost, separated from my crew. I'm going to attempt to breach a wall, get into a more tenable room. I'm on the southwest corner of the first floor.
Okay, command copy. Firefighter Redfield, engine 3, separated from your crew. You're going to go between rooms. You've already found a wall breach. You're going to go ahead. You're on the southwest corner of the building. Okay. As I'm repeating all that back, you can start, work your waist strap first. Waist strap first. As I'm repeating that back, you can start getting yourself ready to get through there, okay? You don't need to wait, okay? Because, you know, time is of the essence here. We got a bad place and we want to go to a good place. This is the one, Jordan, where you're going to go ahead and you're going to be putting the bottle between your legs, okay? Okay, Billy, you're going to be taking it off and putting your bottle forward, okay? But we're going to let him do it like he's by himself. Okay, that's fine. You can do that. Just stay real low. You see what he did? I let him continue because guess what? You can do that through this space too. You can have your bottle off. But okay, Jordan. So you've donned your bottle, or you're donning your bottle. There you go. Now, Captain Sneed was with you, okay? So you made it through. Now he's going to push his bottle forward, okay? So be ready to assist him with that. Okay, Billy. You went through the other hole. Did you know that? But I let you do it because it's the same thing. You went through there. Yeah, it's okay. You stayed low. That was the same thing. It just, there was no ceiling for you. But you did exactly what you would have done if you would have went through here. So you're going to go through it again in a minute anyway. So if you guys had been together, he'd have been making a mayday call for you, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. And if there was 3 of you guys, the guy behind him would have been doing it, okay?
Good, guys. Excellent.
There you go, Billy.
You're going to go first. We got one other guy. You have not
Okay, Brent, you need to go ahead and you need to get where you drag your bottle through, right? So that's what you're going to do after Billy gets through here.
It's on the Fireground. We have a mayday. Go ahead, mayday.
Okay. There you go. There you go, Billy. Now don't pull on that. Just go ahead and just wait till he gets through on his own speed, okay? Go ahead and get left shoulder all the way in that corner. There you go, Billy. Good. Okay, Brett, come on over here. Now you're by yourself, right? You realize you got to take it through this hole. That's okay. No one shot you got. You don't have time. So check the other side. Make sure you got a sound floor.